CNN has certainly jumped the shark. Its ratings are also going down. They keep bringing in new management, and nobody can seem to figure this out. I can tell you, the print guy is not going to be able to get it together. Forget about it, as they say. Print doesn't understand television. It's actually a different animal. Just like network TV doesn't understand what we're doing right here. I mean, think about this. In real time, like talking to all you guys and seeing the comments, and it's like this conversation, right? It's on a whole different level than what you would have at network television. And I would say network television does not understand what we're doing over here. And I would say that print people do not understand what network television is trying to do. So there's these different derivatives, if you would, of the media culture. And CNN is on the losing end of everything, literally everything right now, right? They're not online in this kind of way. And they're, just a bunch of jealous little nervous Nellies over there that think that somehow Trump is going to send them to jail. It's a talking point. Talking point only. So I open my email box, and sadly enough, I get this one email. Somebody from CNN that I knew signed me up for this media email. So it's kind of annoying. Most of the time, I just delete it. Sometimes it's interesting to see. I actually saw it in part because a friend of mine flagged it and said, "Did you see this? This is crazy." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So I went back and I looked at it in my inbox, and it's all about a sad little reporter there that took over for Brian Stelter, who I believe Hannity nicknamed Potato Head or something, because he was always just kind of like just nipping at the heels of more famous people all the time. But anyway, this other little turd, sorry, who writes his newsletter, took over for the other guy, has this whole thing and about ticketing Tucker. Now, let me just say, I don't necessarily need to stand here and like sing Tucker's praises. I mean, I actually disagreed with him and still disagree with him on a ton of stuff. But I'll tell you one thing that we are firmly in agreement on, and that is the First Amendment. And we are firmly in agreement on everybody's ability to go out there and speak. But apparently, the little turd over at CNN doesn't believe in the First Amendment, which is kind of funny, right? For a journalist. I remember when everybody was picking on Tucker for the Putin interview. I'm like, hey, guys, you know what? I will sit and watch that all day long, because if nothing else, I want to get information, firsthand information myself. And if I'm being spun, so be it, right? Hopefully I'm an intelligent enough person to know that I'm being spun. But let's hear the spin, because Joe Biden's spinning you all day long. When he sits there and tells you the economy's great, and people are like, "Oh, but wait, inflation." He says inflation's down. It's like, no, buddy, it's cumulative, okay? It grows on top of each other. That means ever since it took us to 9.4%, which, by the way, he also tries to say that it was somehow Donald Trump's fault and that he never did. I mean, it's like complete fiction. But at least I'm hearing it myself, and I know what the actual numbers are. I mean, it's the same deal with Vladimir Putin. I want to hear from him. So I think that was a big deal and a good thing that Tucker did that interview. But the rest of the media, jealous little nervous Nellies that they are, were just angry that they didn't get the interview, and they were furious, and they just kept going on and on. How dare he? How dare he? Well, now they're like, how dare he sell tickets to speeches? So apparently he has employed the use of Ticketmaster to have these speeches all over the country. And you know what? You're an American with the freedom to spend your money. Last I checked, however you choose to spend your money. And if you want to go hear Tucker Carlson, or if you want to subscribe to his show, that is your prerogative to do that. I mean, how is CNN trying to get in the way of Ticketmaster selling tickets to Tucker Carlson? I mean, come on, guys. You're like Fonzie all over again, really jumping the shark. Let me read from this email. Ticketmaster is linking arms with right-wing extremists, boosting their ability to reach mainstream audiences and profiting off their dangerous and hateful rhetoric ahead of the November election. The ticketing sales giant is the distributor of the forthcoming live speaking tour from Tucker Carlson, who announced plans this week to crisscross the country with a 15-city arena tour and inviting conspiracy theorists with him along the way. Wow. So this little reporter, and I'm pretty sure he's little, just like the other one. I mean, the other one's wide, but he's little. Anyway, he said they went around and they started calling all the venues. I mean, can you believe this? They're calling the venues. CNN has nothing better to do with its time than troll the venues at which Tucker Carlson might be speaking. Honda Center, T-Mobile Center, Delta Center, Dickies Arena, Intrust Bank Arena, and others. Apparently, they wouldn't give the little reporter any kind of comment. He also asked Live Nation, the company that works with Ticketmaster, right? It's a subsidiary, and they chose not to respond. And he writes glibly, in fairness to the company's public relations division, it is difficult to see how they can defend such conduct. How can any decent person not only participate in enabling Carlson's poisoning of the public discourse, but also justify profiting off his hateful rhetoric in the process? Gosh, you sound a lot like Rachel Maddow. Are you sure that Rachel didn't write that? Or, oh, maybe you said to ChatGPT, can you help me write this in the spirit and tone of Rachel Maddow? Because it sounds like Rachel Maddow to me. I don't think this particular writer has yet defined his particular tone. And that really does strike me as like something Rachel would say. Anyway, it's sad to see, the ratings keep going down, 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 down. And it's because the people there just don't have a clue about television itself. I mean, look at the people they have on TV. Look at the lack of personality. Look at the lack of je ne sais quoi, as we like to say. I mean, this is why I told you Trump was going to win way back in 2016. I predicted it. Why? Because he had a je ne sais quoi. Plus, he had some chops, right? Like he had real business chops. And I think Americans at that time were really craving that. They really wanted somebody who could talk trade and tariffs and understand the plight of the American middle class in ways that, frankly, Hillary Clinton couldn't possibly. I mean, she every time she opened her mouth, it was like one thing after another. The deplorables, for example, and promising to get rid of all the coal mining jobs in coal mining territory. I mean, can you imagine being her press person and trying to deal with that train wreck that she was? It was like open mouth and insert foot. Now, I get that Donald Trump does that too. But for whatever reason, when he does it, it comes across, certainly to his base and to his supporters, as somewhat endearing. There was nothing endearing about Hillary Clinton. In fact, she's in hot water right now because you probably saw the story that just came out this week. What do you know? She's actually supporting the guy who's trying to primary one of the members of the squad. Bowman, the fire alarm guy, Jamal Bowman, honorary member of the squad that chose to pull the fire alarm, and we got it on tape. He actually takes the sign down, and he's disrupting a vote like by the federal government on the budget because he didn't like the budget. So yeah, he should be gone. I applaud Hillary for that move. It's very rare that I say that. So mark this moment in time. Mark this moment in the video. Hillary Clinton is right to make sure that Jamal Bowman gets primaried. But CNN is just jumping the shark. It's over, guys. You know what? Just fold it up and go home now. I know. You know what? You had a little success getting rid of him, getting rid of me, getting rid of a lot of people over at Fox, right? They're literally, can you imagine? There was an entire internet arm that got part of its funding from Soros that did nothing but write about anything we all said and try and take it wildly out of context. And they were doing so basically to try and help their own business and their own politics. And that's how nasty and divisive and rotten, effectively, this media business has come. And so I'll tell you, no love lost between Tucker and myself. I mean, gosh, I had the unfortunate position of being up against the guy right at 8:00. But I like a lot of what he says. I don't like some of what he says, in full transparency. But I can't, as a journalist myself and an opinion journalist, I can't sit here and pretend that that's okay. This is wrong what they're doing. Cancel culture is fundamentally, absolutely, positively wrong. And in essence, it's not who we are as a society. It's never been who we are. And we need to protect our First Amendment really and truly at all costs. So that on CNN's part, it makes me, I kid you not, want to go buy a Tucker ticket. All right? Really. That's saying something. Okay? Even if I don't go to the speech, in defiance here, in defiance.